Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sunday night at 9 p.m. I'm happy to have you here tonight. First, I want to say happy 4th. I trust everybody made it through 4th of July safe and sound, and everybody's able to be a part of this broadcast tonight. Tonight, we have behind the scenes of Sunday night at 9. We have a special guest, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But myself, Rufus Carpenter, and the normal Glenda Driver. Hey there, Annette, how you doing? Welcome
I'm
to Stay.
doing good.
Y'all look so good. Hi, Mildred.
Hi.
Hey, hi there, F. Wimberly. Hey, how you doing, Dr. Johnson? Glad to see everybody. How you doing, Coach Glenda? Awesome, awesome. Okay, glad to have you here tonight. Tonight is going to be a special show because we'll give you a behind the scene, and we want you to see how we do this. We have so much fun. We've been doing this for almost a year now, and we're about ready to take this to a national market. Majority of people you see here tonight are beta test, the core people, and these are founding members of Sunday Night at 9, and these are the people that help us develop this platform. What we have, the platform and the framework of this platform is that it's like 20 of your girlfriends, you're in your living room. And in one of your living room and 20 of your girlfriends, and maybe you might have a glass of wine or whatever you drink, and you guys are casually sitting back talking about relationships and relationship topics. And we love to do that because here you can talk about some of the things that you've been concerned about relationships. You can talk about some of the issues you had. And normally we have a specific topic for each week. But as you go through that, you have any questions, you can bring that out. But tonight, we're going to show you how all this magic come about. Myself, Rufus Carpenter, I am the coach of Reset Healthy Relationship. I work for Glenda's Get It and Go relationship company and relationship practice. And we have Coach Glenda, she's here, and we'll give Glenda a chance to tell you a little bit about herself. But tonight, the lady of the hour is our special guest, Sunny J. Sunny J of the Sunny J Show. She comes out of the Orlando, Florida area, and I'll let her tell you about herself. She's a TV. She's got her own television station, the GLS TV show. So welcome, Sunny J. Glad to have it. Sunny J, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Oh, well, first, Glenda, you want to say something before I turn it over to Sunny J?
Oh no, I'm just happy to see everybody. I see everybody's pretty faces. I thank you for showing up. It's truly amazing that you guys want to be a part of our Sunday nights at 9. And I really appreciate your attendance tonight and showing your faces.
Hi, Fire Tablet. Hey, welcome tonight. Go ahead. Turn it over to you there, Sunny J.
Well, you know, I can honestly say that was one of the worst intros I've ever had in my lifetime. But I do appreciate you, Mr. Carpenter. Again, it is. We're gonna have some fun tonight. All right. So again, it's Sunny J. It is with Sunny J Live is the name of the show. And I host that show on the GLS TV Plus platform on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. And you can catch me at Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. But I'm looking forward to hearing all about this Sunday night at 9. You know, we behind the scenes. So y'all gotta spill the tea what this is all about. So Sunday nights at 9, you guys get together, you talk about relationships, you're able to unburden yourselves, I'm supposing. So somebody tell me what this is all about. Like, why do y'all even come on here? Annette, Ms. Wimberly, Mildred, anybody, tell me what this is all about.
Well, this is Annette. Good evening. Hey, it is an interesting interactive conversation with adults talking about different male-female relationships. It is actually exciting and fun. We have similar opinions, we have different opinions. However, we respect everybody's opinion and we get to talk about things. We learn too because our coaches are enlightening us with their research and what they know and think about it. So I personally find it interesting.
Anybody else want to share why they come on here?
Yes, I'll share. The conversations are interesting, and the topics and the verbiage, learning new verbiage, some of it like breadcrumbing. That was an interesting topic. And you come in thinking one thing, but by the time the session ends, you got a whole new perspective on things. And sometimes it makes me do additional research for understanding and clarity. And I really think that this platform can be really transformative for people, that's been in bad relationships, starting new relationships, or still navigating through relationships. So I look forward to coming on Sunday Night Live at 9 now.
It's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, so now you told me about breadcrumbing. So somebody got to explain that to me. Who wants to explain that to me?
Oh,
Y'all got to tell me about this.
Somebody other than me.
I know somebody just wants to share about this breadcrumbing. You can make it really as short as you want it to be, but we just know that y'all were listening, and it's got to be interesting because y'all keep coming. So who's going to tell me about it?
Getting the short end of the stick in a relationship.
Okay, that was pretty succinct. Thank you. So, all right.
Let me add to that, because as a matter of fact, breadcrumbing was a popular topic for us. It took us into 2 weeks, as a matter of fact, because when we got into, a lot of us didn't know what breadcrumbing really was. So a lot of us just listened to hear what it was to get a better understanding. Now that second week, when the second week rolled around, we knew exactly what we were talking about. So we were all able to share the fact that we had been manipulated before. A lot of times we thought it was gaslighting, or we thought it was ghosting. But once we found out the manipulated behavior of breadcrumbing, we realized then that we had been victims as well as villains in that breadcrumbing thing. Because breadcrumbing is no more than someone's taking advantage of another person for their own egotistic gain or control.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that sounded like that was a real interesting conversation, and it went into 2 weeks. Well, all right. So I know that you come on here because you get a lot of information. Now, who on here by show of hands is in a relationship? Okay. All right. So
my hands up. Ain't the hands ain't up.
Yeah, people in relationships, and so coming on here, do you feel like it's helping you? It's beneficial to your relationship being a better relationship, a stronger relationship? Is it helpful?
To me, it was helpful. It was not only enlightening, but it gave me a chance or an opportunity to share how I felt, and knowing that I wasn't the only one that felt like that. And it gave me a chance to verbally say without being judged or condemned or that sort of a thing. So it was able to share a burden and to see if you were the only one that thought like that or felt like that. It was like a eye opener.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to be alone, right? So Felicia, I hear you laughing. I know you have something you wanted to say.
No, I'm just listening.
Absolutely. Well, I know this has been going on for quite a while, and you come on here every Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Like, okay, so what got this started? Like, what made this come together? Why is this happening? What is this all about?
I can tell you that because I have a program. I have a company called Urban Games Experience LLC, and one of the things that I was doing was youth and community development, and we had a part of that called BCI, Business Creation Institute. And we had 5 people that signed up as my clients to do that. And one of the 5 people that signed up was Glenda, Coach Glenda. She signed up. And when I first met her, she wanted to do baking because she wanted to do nutritional cooking. And she wanted people to eat healthier and stuff like that because she had some issues that she wanted to share. And when we got to the part where we had to build out our corporations, and one of the things, you have to have a brand story. So we all had to tell our story. And it was 4 of all other of us, well, 6 altogether, me made 6 in there. She told her story. Everybody said, wow. Her story was so inspiring that I told her, I said, Glenda, look, your story is great. And you need to be working more on your story instead of the baking. She said, nope, all I want to do is bake. I said, don't be surprised down the road that your baking story is the back burner, and your life story, the mess you went through in your life story, becomes the story. The rest is history.
The rest is history. Now, Glenda, I see you over there laughing. So do you still bake?
No.
Are you still baking?
No, not like that. No,
so
I have to study my lesson.
Everything turned around when you realized that.
It did.
Yeah. So this story that you shared, and I'm thinking that most people have heard the story, but just tell us a little bit what that that you shared with Mr. Carpenter that made it seem like this is the direction you really should go in?
Oh, okay. Well, as everyone has heard before, I was in an 8-year marriage that didn't serve me well, where I was mentally, physically, and sexually abused, but God had a better plan for me. And after 10 years of struggling as a divorcee and a single mom of 2, I was able to get my life back on track. I moved from Virginia to Georgia, where I had no family to little to no friends, and started a brand new life. So
Wow.
I originally or initially I had to start from scratch when I moved from Virginia to Georgia. So I had, I had to rebuild my self-confidence, and I had to build new relationships with people. And it was a struggle in the beginning, but I can honestly say that I didn't let my past in Virginia deter me from wanting and needing something more and better for myself. And I always wanted to make sure that I set a good example for my children. So they can never say that they saw a man taking care of their mom, or mom slept around to get her bills paid. No, your mama worked between 2 to 4 jobs to make sure them bills were paid so we can have a roof over our head.
Right.
So Rufus took that story, because during the process in Virginia, I suffered from high blood pressure. And I didn't know that, it was due to my salt intake. But because my marriage was so toxic and unhealthy, I wasn't eating properly. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna just, do nutritional cooking and baking, because people with health issues, they really don't know how to prepare their food in a way that it doesn't have all that flavor and seasoning that won't affect their blood pressure or their glucose. So I wanted to do that, but after I spoke with Mr. Carpenter, he was more or less like, no, we're gonna have to do a little shift here, because that is more powerful than your cooking experience. So I just went along with him because it was his program and it was something new for me, but it was a game changer for me.
Wow. And I think that it's been a game changer for a lot of people. So as far as the ones that come on here, every Sunday night at 9 p.m. to be able to share their stories. How many of you actually have had to rebuild yourself, had to leave a situation and start all over again?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Me too. So we can relate, right? And
Yep.
and as you said, Mildred, we want to know that we're not alone.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So it's awesome to know that other people go through the same things and, have the opportunity to be able to talk about it, right? And be nourished and get fed and get understanding. So what would you share? Now, anybody can answer this. What would you share with a friend about this Sunday night at 9 to get them to come on with you and participate? What would you share with them? What would you tell them about this?
Well, I talk to a lot of people. Whenever I talk to them, I have sisters and I have brothers, and we do have a few men that I've heard on the interaction, but I think it should be open to us all, because we all encounter a relationship woe of some type, where when we get to mix and hear other conversations and people talking about it, it helps you understand, it helps me understand myself in relationships. Much further, it helped me understand how I allow myself to be manipulated, as well as how I manipulate in relationships. So I would tell someone, hey, it's very interesting and informative to help you understand yourself better in your relationships.
Wow, because that's important, right? In a relationship, you got to know
Yeah.
yourself too. And sometimes the things that people see in us, we don't see it.
That's correct.
Exactly.
Wow. So this is really, I mean, like you said, it's women, but men come on here too, and that's important because relationships are relationships,
Right.
and there's abuse on both sides. Now, I know there's been some really, really interesting topics that have gone forth. Is there a topic that you're like, I just can't wait to talk about? Anybody got a topic they want to throw out there, like for one of the future sessions that y'all want to talk about?
God has a funny way of doing things, because when Glenda first started about this, she wanted to talk about food and healthy eating. And just
Right.
recently, we just had a new person come on, Mitch. I think it's Mitch on Fire Tablet. he came on, and one of the biggest things that he want to offer is eating healthier. So it's kind of like saying that was something she brought out in the beginning, starting it, and now right here in this short term, well, in this term right now, he's saying that's a big part of what he does, research food and how food and how to grit and balance in our eating. So that's like, wow. No matter what you try to get out, God will find a way of getting it out in spite of what we're doing. So to me, that's a blessing. So that's something we want to look for in the next couple of weeks. Information from him, and we're gonna do the thing on how to eat healthier, and we're gonna put a twist in it. We're gonna put a twist. Not only are you gonna eat healthier, but you're gonna be able to have some healthier staying power too.
Right, right. Because they do talk about comfort food and relationships, right? And how, sometimes mentally we're in situations and food can be that comfort. So I totally understand where you were coming from, Glenda, and I can't wait to hear more about the healthy eating, because we always can, use advice in that regard, right? And it's all about, it's mental, it's emotional, it's physical, it's all those things, right? That make us who we are. And to be a better us, we got all those things kind of got to be in an alignment, right? So now this has been going on for quite a while. And I know we talked about, Glenda's background, and I know, Mr. Carpenter, you had your program and you saw her story, but was there a piece of that kind of hit home for you at all to want to build this community?
Yes, well, a lot of it was because when she talked about some of the things she went through, and I listened to her story, and I used to see my dad beat my mom up every weekend. He would come home drunk on Friday without any money, and my mom would say, my dad would say, Pete, where the money at? And then he would start an argument and fight her, so he wouldn't have to explain. And me and my little brothers and sisters used to grab my dad's leg and try to pull him off my mom, and he'd kick us around like a rag doll. And then my mom would get up off the floor and try to keep us from getting hurt, and she'd get knocked down again. So I told myself that I would never, ever hit or abuse a woman. I would still have some issues that weren't quite right. So I said, well, a lot of us are affected by this. And we don't know, because we were raised and we thought that was healthy, where it's not healthy. So I'm like anybody else. I'm one of the first partakers of what we talk about here. So that's one reason why I decided to want to do it.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure everybody on here is so glad that you did. And going forward with this, I mean, there are so many bad relationships, right? And all the signs and the things that you're sharing. Everybody can use that advice, whether they're in a relationship or not. So now, because we got some new people, how many single people on here? Okay, so there's some singles on here. Good. Looking forward to make better connections and better choices moving forward, right? Now,
but I want to say this. I want to say happily single.
Okay.
Okay, put that in there.
Cool. That's important. Now, I know normally you get a chance to just kind of have a topic of discussion and share your feelings and your thoughts, and and maybe it goes off into some other conversations when you get started, right? Like it kind of veers away.
Right.
So, but I'm just excited. This is such a wonderful, wonderful program, and a way to express yourself and get information, and and it's nice to be able to see each other, right? Now, the fact that it's at Sunday night at 9, do you have a cup of coffee or tea or something in front of you while you're here? Do you kind of get into your zone? Okay, I see some soda.
Yes.
I see a Starbucks cup, I think. I'm not sure. But Miss Glenda, now I know you've been doing this for a while. What is your mission and your vision for this?
In all honesty, my personal mission is for us to be able to their forever relationship sooner rather than later, recognizing the red flags and not tolerating a lot of nonsense and foolishness right out the gate. Relationships are a lot of trial and error, but when you get to a certain age or maturity level, there's time out for a lot of nonsense and foolishness. You just gotta have a hard stop and tell yourself and tell the other person, okay, this is not going to continue. This behavior, this attitude, whatever is affecting your relationship negative, this can't continue, especially if you desire for us to progress to the next level. So I am hoping and praying that when the participants come on Sunday nights at live, they are speaking their truth. They are asking questions. They are taking our feedback and applying it to their everyday lives, their relationships, even with their children and their other relatives. Because the only way you're going to get to the root cause of your problem in relationships is if you talk them out, and then you have to also identify what the issue is before you can get a game plan together.
And I know it has helped so many people, and you're looking to help, thousands and thousands of people have better relationships.
Forward. So my goal for this was help as many people as I could to her, and then turn it over to her, and then go do something else.
During the time that, you all have been here on Sundays at 9, has anyone been able to actually take the knowledge that they've learned and apply it in their life immediately? Okay.
This is some of the first partaker I have. I've been able to go back and apologize to some people. I was able to go back and see that, because I'm a person that if I did somebody wrong, I just won't do it no more, but I don't go back and apologize. I just don't do it no more. But this taught me that you have to clear yourself, and you forgive yourself as well as the other person. So that helped me out. And I wouldn't have done it unless the program, being here, it works on me too. Even though I do a lot of heavy lifting in this program, it's the things being said, it works on me too.
So is there anybody that wants to share?
I would. This is Mildred, and it helped me to understand my friend. Just because he didn't think and talk like I did, I understood where he was coming from. And when I was able to share how I felt, or my language was, it was really revealing, put it like that. So yes, I was able to use what I heard on with the 5 love languages.
So Mildred, you were able to understand what your love language was and what the other person's love language is.
Exactly.
Because it's good to know that we're not all alike. We really aren't. And everybody doesn't see things the way you do or I do, and respecting each other. And you have to know things, right? And so that's great knowledge to know about the 5 love languages. Mine is gifts. I know that. So that's my love language, gifts. Yeah, but some people like time, some people want time and things like that. Mine's is gifts. So I know mine's, and then I can associate with other people what theirs might be. Because you do have to know yourself. You do have to know yourself. So we've heard about Glenda's story. We know about Rufus's story, and we all have a story. Sometimes we want to share it, sometimes we don't. And so I totally believe that, and I can relate to the need for relationships, because I've been in a bad relationship. So it's just wonderful to have this safe space. And I really truly appreciate what Coach Glenda and course manager Mr. Carpenter have put together to allow this, as far as being that vision. And for Mr. Carpenter to see the vision of Coach Glenda, that her life story was what was going to be so impactful and mean so much in other people's lives, to be able to pour into their lives, right? To keep giving every Sunday night at 9 o'clock. And it's a commitment for everybody that comes on here. So I commend you for coming on here and listening and sharing and, getting into the topics. I know tonight was a little bit different, not actually having, such an exciting topic at like breadcrumbs, but I actually have enjoyed being on here with you.
I have something to say. I started with the program online for Reset, and I think it was a great program for me. And since the breadcrumbing came out, I went back and I started the program over, because I feel like I missed something in the program. But I found that with this safe space to speak my mind and to not worry about what other people think, I've found out that in times past, things that we thought we knew, we didn't know, because it was just the way we were raised. It was the way we were taught. In a lot of areas in her program, I saw myself, and then I saw my parents. We weren't given all the tools. We got some of the tools for relationships, but we didn't get them all. But with this program, I think the average person would benefit from it because it's so good and it's so informational. And through Coach Glenda and course manager Rufus, I've learned a lot from different people in the program and the different people that come on and talk about how they grew up. I'm from the South, so you know, a lot of people may not be from the South. Some could be from the Northeast or West, but we all have a different scenario when it comes to how relationships are born.
So it's awesome that you recognized, you know, because part of it is our parents and our upbringing, you know, the things that we've seen and experienced. We're part of all of that, right? I've had a great time. This has been so much fun. What do you have to say? What do you want to add to this conversation, Mr. Carpenter?
I want to know what subjects or topics you guys want us to cover next going forward, because we've covered a lot of topics, and some of the ways that we come up with topics is we see what's trending out there, and sometimes we may walk somewhere and we hear a man and a wife or people have a conversation about things, and they might say that what it is, and then we might take what they said and distill it down to a subject, because basically we try to handle communication, we try to handle trust, we try to talk about conflict resolution, we try to talk about compromise, we try to talk about setting boundaries, the basic pillars of relationship. But there's sometimes you walk around, because like once, and this subject we had about two or three weeks back, we had a subject about if it's not long enough or wet enough, would it be worth it? I was walking by and I heard this lady tell her girlfriend, his money nor his dick is long enough for me to stay with him. So he can take that and carry his butt. So when I heard that was, it's not long enough or wet enough. And that became the topic.
That's a good one.
So we find our topic some of the strangest places.
I'm sure that was a really good session.
So it really was. As a matter of fact, that almost went 4 weeks. And that's how we come up with stuff. And believe it or not, because this is what people are talking about.
Yes.
And that's how we came up with that topic. And we came up with a breadcrumbing topic because someone called me and said, you know what? I saw this and you guys got to do something about it. Breadcrumbing. She says, I didn't know what breadcrumbing was, but this is interesting. I said, okay, we'll do it. Let's do it. And that's how we come up with a lot of our topics. But what topics do you have? Let us know. You can either put it in the chat or you can email us, or, you know, however you want to get the information to us, because we want to do what's relevant. We want to do what's relevant. If you have a problem or a question you want to know, and sometimes I might want to know questions, because sometimes I have some female questions I wanted to know, and I put it out there. Hey, tell me about this. I'd much rather learn firsthand, because I'm going to do this study. And Mitch is on, and Mitch works for CDC, or used to work for CDC, and a lot of our study and information came from studies and grants that CDC had gave out. So a lot of our stuff comes from that studies, but a lot of our stuff is stuff that we know, that we want to know ourselves. And there's always some doctor or some research to support it, but we still want to know both. We want to know what they're saying about it in the street, as well as in the studies and in the journals. And that's what's important. So anything you guys want us to cover, I know Mitch wants us to cover, we're going to cover about eating healthier. And one thing about, I think 2 subjects are back, and we're talking about the love making and stuff. And we're saying, while a lot of people need chemicals or go to doctors and stuff like that, it's because they haven't done the right things, taking care of their bodies along the way. So you can't tear your body down naturally and hope you're going to perform. So you've got to do the things that you need to do. And Mitch has a lot of thoughts about that, a lot of study. And matter of fact, he turned me on to a Dr. Bruce Lipton, who has some great work about reprogramming your mind. Because a lot of us came up by watching our parents. And that's the law of first learning, is how you got your first idea, how you first saw something, and how your caretakers raised you when you were young. And a lot of us carried that because we didn't go and do the studying. We just saw what we saw at home and in the street, and that became our norm. Where that might not, or it might been the right way, but you don't know until you have something to judge it against. And that's how we do this. So if you have any topics that you want us to cover or anything, any concerns you have, please bring them up and we'd be happy to have them. Because Glenn and I, we sit down a lot and we talk about what we're going to do. And sometimes we come up with a list of about 5 to 10 programs, episodes we want to do, and we might narrow those down to 3 and take the best 3 out of there and do it that way. And that's how we normally do that. But if you give us something, we'd be more than happy to do it. Because our biggest thing is we're using Glenda's story, the stuff she did, and stuff she did, the things she found, the ways her challenges that she overcame and her breakthroughs are a lot of what we weave throughout this whole program here. So a lot of things we do is like this is the good breadcrumbs. We leave tracks for you to follow. She's already proved it, so you don't have to go through it alone. So that's what we do. So anybody got any subjects or any topics they want us to cover right now? They know about. They want us to cover.
I have one.
Who's the one? Who's speaking?
Francis.
Go ahead, Francis.
How children fare in a relationship. Say, I might have children, and they're not your children. How my children would fare in the relationship, or you may have children, and I don't. How your children would fare in that new relationship.
That sounds very good because that really affects you because the child is trapped in the middle. Mm-hmm. When adults make the decision, hey, I'm done with you, Joker. Me and my kids going over here. Me and my kids going there. And now you got a third. And if you decide to still date and bring someone else into this relationship, you're right. Kids, the focus of kids in it. Yeah, that's a good one. We'll definitely cover that. Any more?
This thought came to me last night, and I don't know what, but it's the 5 stages of grief in a relationship.
I think Angela had something similar to that once before when she said when a relationship's over, it's the same as a death. So I think that's pretty much in that same mindset. I'm glad you said that because I want us to say prayers for Angela's family. She lost her mom. She lost her mom last night at 1:08. So if you know the word of prayer, you please keep that family in your thoughts. I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but since you brought that up, she was a founding member of the program. Any additional ones? You know what? I got to share this, and this is funny, and this is funny. You know what? Because we kind of tape these things on a live Zoom on Sunday night, and we put them on YouTube on Wednesday. So normally up by Wednesday on YouTube. And I start looking at it on YouTube. I laugh my butt off. I just laugh. I found myself talking to the computer.
I do that too.
The faces we make. I just have straight up. Am I the only one? Anybody else noticing that?
Yeah, it's fun.
I've received a lot of feedback with the same comments that his girl, you be making all types of faces and y'all are just too funny. I'm like, okay, is that good or bad? Well, as long as we keep you laughing and we continue to entertain you, that means you'll come back.
Yeah. Because one of our benefits that we do very, very little editing on this program. We try to keep it real. What comes up, comes out. And we try not to edit as much as possible because we want it to be fair and true. Because this is somewhere where you can come and you can speak your truth. And not saying we may not agree with you, but we agree to have you heard. That's what we're going to do. We're going to let you be heard. Now, when it get out of hand, we'll try to reel it back in. But we want you to be heard. You know, no matter what the topic is, as long as dealing something with relationship and something that we can all benefit from it, we can let you be heard. And that's what I like about it, because a woman can talk to a man on this program and a man can say his point of view and a woman can say her point of view. And this is not like anywhere else you go, you know, you got a guest speaker and they ask a guest speaker question. They've already rehearsed, pre-flighted what they're going to ask each other and all that stuff. We come on, we unrehearsed. What comes up, comes out. And, you know, and we make mistakes. I make mistakes. Glenda make mistakes, you know, and we just live with it. We're human. And I got to say thank you to the audience, because you guys have come on and you guys have said some candid stuff, and it's a sweet spot in the program when someone come on and they hear something for the first time and it affect them, and you can see them go and they will break down in front of you. They just, oh my God, and it just hit them, and they're going through a moment, and we all benefit from that because we don't know who you're going to help by what you say.
Right.
I might be going through what you're going through, but I might dress mine up a little better than you dress yours up. And I don't say anything because I don't want you to know that my house is so raggedy. But once you start saying it and I hear you go through it, I can say, wow, darn, I'm not the only one.
Right.
I'm not crazy. So that's the benefit we have here today, because nowhere in the Black community are we doing this. This kind of stuff they don't do in church. They don't do in school. The barbershops used to be the place that men go, but now barbershops now you got to go by appointment. Appointment to get your haircut. I don't know if you guys talk about it in the women's shop or not, but so a lot has changed. And when you're talking about dating methods, now how do you date now? You got to go on the internet, dating. How do you meet the other sex? How do you have those conversations? Well, I'm sorry, Sunday. I get happy. So you guys talking about something that I get happy with. Turn it back over to you.
Oh, no, that's great. And by the way, I'm just going to say out loud. So if you do have topics or whatever, you can send it to the email reset2hr@gmail.com, which I read as reset to our, so HR at gmail.com. So with your comments, with your topics and suggestions and ideas and things like that. Well, Rufus had plenty to say. Okay, Glenda, it's your turn. What you got to say over there?
Actually, Rufus speaks for both of us. I thought you knew that.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You speak for both of us. You're the backbone of Reset. But honestly, as it has already been stated, if there's any topics or any additional feedbacks that you would like to have us discuss in the future, please send us an email. I know that I've spoken to several of our participants on one-on-one phone calls and, via text on some feedback as well as suggestions. And I really do appreciate the time and the interest of each and every one of them that have, each and every one that I have spoken with, because we're always looking for the open discussion to be better than what it was. Any type of comments you may have to make us better than what we are currently is always welcome. And I just really want to say thank you for sacrificing your Sunday nights at 9 to be a part of the show. It is greatly appreciated, and always and forever, hands down to Mr. Carpenter for pulling everything off. And Sunny J, you're just a wonderful person inside and out, and you're always willing and ready to come to our aid anytime we need help. And I really appreciate that. But outside of that, everything is going well, and I'm looking for Reset to do bigger and better things in the near future.
Somewhere in the near future, Glenda going to have her coming out party. And with the coming out party, she's going to roll out her whole program, because Glenda's company is called Glenda's Get It and Go LLC. And what that is a relationship coaching practice. And when that's going to come out, she's going to roll it out. She's going to have a coming out party somewhere in Atlanta. And when she have that out, it's going to be a national program. So please be looking out for that soon.
That's amazing. Well, we can't wait to hear all about this. Well, I just got to ask, what's next week's topic? Has it already been decided?
We'll send that out. We'll send that out.
We try not to let you know the topic, the upcoming week's topic too early, because we never know how things are going to happen throughout the week, and something may change. So we usually send out the message probably towards the weekend, maybe 2 days prior to Sunday night.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to look forward to that. I want to see what the next topic is. So I'm so happy that I got a chance to come on and ask some questions and hear some stories and some sharing, and realizing that this truly is a safe space and definitely needs to be shared with a whole lot more people. that they can come on here, because, you know, a lot of things, you don't know what you don't know, as they always say, you don't know what you don't know, right? So I will say this, I'm delighted to have been on here tonight to, with all of you, and I will definitely come back because I can't wait to hear some of these kind of conversations that go on. I'm looking forward to that, and getting some other folks. So definitely, I'm sure you all are also inviting your friends and those that just want to come on for some good information, right? When the thing is, you don't have to show your face, but knowledge is still powerful, and we all know that, right? So better relationships, we all need those, whether it's with the significant other or a friend. Or anybody,
That's
right? So
right.
we need to know that, and we need to know ourselves. So again, thank you for allowing me to be part of Sunday night at 9 tonight. Thank you, Glenda, Coach Glenda, for the invite, and thank you, Rufus Carpenter, course manager Rufus Carpenter, and all of you for allowing me to be here with you tonight. So I do appreciate each and every one of you. Again, I am Sunny J with Sunny J Live. You can find me on GLS TV Plus, which is on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. And if you don't have neither one of those, go to glstvplus.com. I come on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So anybody else have anything else to say before I guess we close for tonight? And that was
Thank you.
well, thank you. Thank you all. I'm going to see you again, though. I promise I'm coming back. This is fun. I'm coming back. I know yes, I'm coming back. This was fun. I'm looking forward to it again. So it's from 9 to 10. Is that normally the time?
Right. Our sweet spot is at anywhere from that 30 to 45-minute time frame is what we shoot for. We can go up to 60 minutes. We won't go past 10 o'clock. At 10,
okay.
we pull the plug. That's a hard
plug. Turn off the lights.
Yes. Gated by the nose.
Well, we almost hit that at 60 minutes tonight. We pushing it. We pushing it close. So with that, I'll say it's been a pleasure, and good night to all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
We hope you liked this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press the notification bell so that you don't miss another one of our videos. Thank you for what you do.